Okay. But then 3 Times Crazy broke up.
Yeah, because again, they signed us for 180,000. We ended up splitting 7,500 apiece, and then they had us signed to a 5 year contract with an option after the 5 years. And we were like, damn. When we finally found out, the dudes, Dollars and Spence, who we was with, um, after we signed the 5 man contract, they actually was a part of the deal. You feel me? Tone,
Mm-hmm.
Spence, me, Bart, Adrian. It was a 5 man contract we signed. we Me and Bart, we was kind of like, we was still kind of young, so we got in a fight on the airplane on the way back. You feel me? Over it was like one seat. It was a seat with no rows, and he wanted to put his feet across. I'm like, man, watch your feet, man. And then we ended up getting into it, and we got in a fight on the airplane. So when we landed, the dudes who we was with left us. We came outside the airport, and them dudes was gone. I guess that we embarrassed them so much that they left us at the airport. So long story short, Walnut, Rolling Hundreds was right over the ramp. All we had to do was walk through Brookfield, and we was in the hood. So we walked with all our bags to Walnut, and we was like, man, them niggas left us, man. They was like, what? And rest in peace, Rain. Rain was like, I told y'all them niggas was shady. I told y'all. He even told Bart, he told us not to sign with them. Feel me? And we was hard-headed, and we signed anyway. But long story short, he was like, I told y'all, I told y'all. So every time he seen dude after I almost had a fight with him, he was jumping out on him. You know what I'm talking about? Like, nigga, what's up? You feel me? Like, yeah, nigga,
Mm-hmm.
you in the town right now, nigga. We ain't in sack. So then it bagged them off of us. And then and that's when the 3 Time Crazy, it took off. But at the same time, uh, we had already recorded the album, and we had recorded to Keep It on the Real. We was thinking Virgin Records was slash New Tribe. We was thinking that okay, Keep It on the Real, we finna follow up with a remix to Keep It on the Real. You know what I'm talking about? They was saying Ghetto Soldier. We was like, nah, Ghetto Soldier too slow. We already got them talking about boom, 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 boom. We got to come with a remix with somebody dope on it, and we need to roll that out. And we signed Gov as our manager. You know what I'm talking about? Not to throw Gov under the bus, but they were scared of Gov. You know what I'm talking about? So
Mm-hmm.
them dudes, they dropped Ghetto Soldier, and we usually could call up to the label and talk to anybody. They stopped answering our calls. And they dropped us from the label.
Okay. So that album comes out, you guys break up, and then starting in around 99, you start dropping your own solo albums.
Yeah, Adrian Man did his first solo album. It's called Success, The Best Revenge. He didn't really give nobody no notice. By the time we found out his solo album was done, you feel me? And I was like, damn. Because Adrian Man was one of the dopest rappers. He put me in the group. So he was one of the dopest rappers to me ever. You know what I mean? So I got on my sneaker sidle thing. And then I was feeling like either they was gonna love me or they was gonna be like, it's cool. So I put my all into that album. I was growling on every song, you know what I mean? And it actually done good. You know what I'm talking about? It did great. It opened the door for me to do another solo album and another one. I mean, it's solidifying Keak Da Sneak up 3 Times Crazy. You didn't have to put up 3 Times Crazy no more. It was Keak Da Sneak. You know what I mean? By my second solo album. If you trip, Sneakercidal said up 3 Times Crazy. High Tech, it just said Keak Da Sneak. Copium said Keak Da Sneak.
And you and I met right around, the copium time.
For sure.
Counting other people's money. That came out
Right.
in 2003. That's when you and I met.
Yeah.
And T-shirt, blue jeans, and Nikes. That was the song that just, blew me away.
Man, the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I put it on one of my mixtapes. You know what I mean? It was, and then me and you sat down, did an interview at, I think, your house or something in Oakland or someone's house.
Yeah.
And you could feel the energy already building in terms of what you've been doing.
Right.
You know, that was like a hit. I felt.
Man, that song right
That
there.
was a hit.
Yeah, it was. Rick Rock. Shout
Yeah,
out to
Rick
Rick
Rock.
Rock. Produced
Oh
it,
yeah, man, one of the best producers ever.
for sure.
Who doesn't get mentioned in people's top fives but should be.
Right.
Absolutely. You and Mac Dre were actually close for a while, right?
Man, folks, he had just got out in '96, so we had a few years just to really fool with it. You know what I'm talking about? And Mac Dre was just like hella charismatic. You know what I'm talking about? You know, hella fun. You know what I'm talking about? Like he always wanted to have fun with it. You know what I'm talking about? That guy right there, man, was a real special dude, man. You know?
Okay. Because then in 2004, Mac Dre gets killed in Kansas.
I was there.
Were you out there during that time or no?
I was there.
From your point of view, what happened in those couple of days?
I had just got out of jail. Me and my wife was going to Hawaii, so it was 2 shows. I made it to 1 show, but me and my wife was going to Hawaii the next day, and I couldn't make it to the show that Mac Dre died. The same van that picked me up, took me to the airport, brought me to the show and all that, was the van that Dre died in. You know what I mean? I just feel like I felt like it was a lot of friction. You know what I'm talking about? One dude.
Yeah, and I did the American Gangster episode on Mac Dre and the Romper Room Gang, and I got to speak to everybody.
Right.
Both from his camp to the Kansas City, people, to the police, to the detectives, and everything else like that. Well, first of all, when you got that phone call that Mac Dre got killed, how'd you feel?
I was like, hell no, I just left him. Hell no. Mac Dre ain't died, I just left him. A few hours ago. You know what I mean? Me and Mac Mall had gotten into an altercation, you know what I'm talking about, that night. You know what I mean? And I had his voicemail on my phone for the longest. He was like, man, Cuddy, because he wasn't there. Man, Cuddy, what happened, man? What happened? And he was expecting me to call him back and tell him what happened with me and Mac Mall. You know what I'm talking about? But he was already gone. I did all the calls. I called everybody in the world, and they was like, it was true. And it fucked me up. It kind of fucked off my trip with my wife, you know what I mean? I tried to shake it off as much as I can, but it just was bothering me, you know?
Yeah, man, just a terrible loss.
Man,
And
terrible.
That situation happened, and then the streets start talking. Everyone starts saying, "Oh, it was Fat Tone. It was Fat Tone." Because Fat Tone has a song called, where he says, "I killed the Thizzle Man," and so forth. But I've never heard that song.
Me neither.
You see what I'm saying? And he publicly denied it. He said, "No, I had love for Mac Dre. They had songs together." Did you know Fat Tone?
I didn't know him. I know that they loved Mac Dre in Kansas City, like out here.
Right. And then sometime afterwards, Fat Tone and I think Cowboy end up getting killed.
Right.
And Mac Minister ends up, getting charged for it and is now doing, I think, triple life over that murder. Me and him had an interview over the phone a few years back. But I think what the sad part is in this whole thing, apart from Mac Dre dying, is that from everything, all the people I've talked to, both on camera and off camera, everyone was saying it wasn't Fat Tone that did it. Do you know anything about the story behind that?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't know Fat Tone, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the Kansas City guys like you would think I would, but I don't know them at all. You know what I mean? That was actually my first time going to Kansas City and doing a show. Well, my second time, because I did one as dual committee, but then we dealt with with another guy. But when I went out there with Mac Dre and them, that's when we dealt with Fat Tone and the Kansas City and then the Kansas City, Missouri dudes or whatever. The Kansas dudes, I mean. But I didn't really get to know none of them because I was just coming to do one show to get some extra money to take my wife to Hawaii, and I had just got out. So I didn't mix and mingle with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was there for a day, and then I left.
Well, I know that after that happened, you know, and I've talked to a few artists about it, like, there was a lot of tension between the Bay and Kansas City. And artists from the Bay didn't want to go to Kansas City, and Kansas City artists didn't want to go to the Bay. Like, I interviewed Tech N9ne, and he said,
for a minute there, I couldn't go to the Bay, you know what I'm saying, for some months. Because, you know, my street team up there, my boy, Big Dave, he had a van up there, a Tech N9ne van, and he went to Cinco de Mayo, and people were trying to tip it over. He had to get out and knock a nigga out.
and in fact, a couple years later, when I was DJing for you, when we went out to Kansas City to do a show, we were one of the first Bay Area guys to go out there.
Yeah, and they treated us with so much love.
And, you know, when we went out there to Kansas City, you know, we were prepared.
We
We had armed security with us, but it was just all love out there.
Yeah, and it was because of the Sweet 16 that they booked me. They booked me because they saw me on Sweet 16, and then they booked me in Kansas City, and it was a high-end club, like a dope club, and it wasn't all the extra riffraff. But then I know Joey Porter, and I know a few of his people out there, and they were kind of upset they didn't get to kick it with me because I had my security with me, and he didn't trust nobody from Kansas City. Little did he know I knew these guys, but he still was standoffish towards everybody. They was like, Keak, what's up? My security unc was like, hold up, man. Hold up, bro. Hold on, bro. Hold up, bro. He wasn't letting nobody stand too close to me, walk up to me, shake my hand. Unc was like, no. I was like, Unc, I know them. He like, no, these Kansas City niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Which, it was just like crazy. It was my fault, Vlad. And I think, was that in Bakersfield?
Nah, I don't remember. We did a few shows.
All right, well, I might got Bakersfield mixed up with Kansas City, but
Okay.